Good afternoon, Rotarians.
Good afternoon, Kevin.
Welcome to the October 24th meeting of the Rotary Club of Des Moines. I'm Kevin Kassier, and I'm honored to be your president. Thank yous go out to Doug Salzgeber and Claudia Schabel for being our greeters today, so thank you both very much. You guys have been doing a good job with signing up for greeters, so way to go. Now, before I bring up Bob Vedral, and nothing against Bob, but for those keeping track, he's 2 weeks in a row doing the moment of inspiration. So, here's the request. We'd like to hear from more of you. So, give it some thought and think about signing up for a moment of inspiration down the road. So, Bob will come up and share his thoughts, lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, the four-way test, and then we'll have an opportunity to greet each other. So, Bob?
Actually, thank you, Steve. It always brings a high emotional moment for me. Actually, because I like doing this so much, I've signed up to the end of the year. No. We need more voices. Thank you, President Kevin. My moment of inspiration today is on perspectives on life. We all have perspectives that we form over time and in the moment of our daily lives. These perspectives can be formed through listening, seeing, and taking in the world around us. Our perspectives can be rooted deep in our lives through our personal experiences and how we may have been or continue to be influenced by various factors we encounter each day. However, our perspectives may change as a result of new information or an unexpected experience. I would like to share a perspective of life by Steve Jobs in his last days. I reached the pinnacle of success in the business world. In others' eyes, my life is an epitome of success. However, aside from work, I have little joy. In the end, wealth is only a fact of life that I'm accustomed to. At this moment, lying on the sickbed and recalling my whole life, I realize all the recognition and wealth that I took so much pride in have paled and become meaningless in the face of impending death. In the darkness, I look at the green lights from the life-supporting machines and hear the humming mechanical sounds. I can feel the breath of God of death drawing closer. Now I know we have accumulated sufficient wealth to last our lifetime. We should pursue other matters that are unrelated to wealth. Should it be something that is more important? Perhaps relationships, perhaps art, perhaps a dream from younger days. Non-stop pursuing of wealth will only turn a person into a twisted being, just like me. God gave us the senses to let us feel the love in everyone's heart. Not only the illusions brought by wealth. The wealth of everyone in life I cannot bring with me. What I can bring is only the memories precipitated by love. That is true. Riches will follow you, accompany you, and giving you strength and life to go on. Love can travel 1,000 miles. Life has no limit. Go where you want to go. Reach the height you want to reach. It is all in your heart and in your hands. What is the most expensive bed in the world? Sick bed. You can employ someone to drive your car for you, make money for you, but you cannot have someone bear the sickness for you. Material things can be lost, can be found. But there's one thing that can never be found when it is lost: life. When a person goes in the operating room, he will realize there's one book that is yet to finish: the book of healthy life. Whatever stage we are in life right now, with time we will face the day when the curtain comes down. Treasure love for your family, love for your spouse, love for your friends. Treat yourself well, cherish others. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now the four-way test.
Is it true? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship
Please greet your fellow Rotarians.
No, we need other voices. Other people do a great job.
Maybe I should sign up next week and do a political speech. I state my political thoughts for my speaker questions. I always like being a realtor. My job is usually to try to get other people to say what I want them to say.
All right, thank you, everybody. We have 4 guests here today, and it's time to introduce you. So I will introduce you, ask you to stand and remain standing until we get everybody introduced, and then we'll acknowledge you all at once, okay? So the first one up is Allie Kornick. She's the Vice President of Business Operations at the Iowa Wild and a guest of Marnie Ottenberg. We have Matt Lyons, the Director of Development at Unity Point Health Des Moines Foundation, a guest of Bob Reed. And then we have 2 guests of our speaker today, Julie Stewart and Michelle Wilkie. Please stand. Welcome, everybody. All right, if you were here last week, you heard from Colleen Rogers-Messenger and the Edmonds Elementary Case Manager, Megan Cruz, about the need for helping students at Edmonds and their families around Thanksgiving. So we're doing the $50 gift card. Their goal, as you heard last week, was 100. We got 72 last week. So fantastic. For those who haven't signed up, there is sign up on the tables. You can have your account billed by Kitty, however you want to handle that. We actually have till November 7th, so let's see if we can close that gap and get to 100 gift cards for needy families this Thanksgiving. Thank you, everybody. And now for our Did You Know segment, and for our guests, I always promise that they're always going to leave here a bit smarter. They're always going to learn something here. And we're going to have a little fun while we do it. So, the picture today is of Babe Ruth. So we're going to learn a little bit about Babe Ruth because the Yankees are in the World Series against the Dodgers. A lot of positives there. Okay, so here's just some quick hitters about Babe Ruth. So 1933, he hit 60 home runs. Those 60 home runs in 1933 were 14% of all the home runs hit in that year in the major leagues. That's 1 out of 7 home runs hit in the major leagues was by Babe Ruth that year, and he did it in 154 games versus today's 162. On his 700th home run, he paid $20 to get that baseball back. $20 in today's money is it would be almost $500. So it was a pretty nice offer.
One beer.
Pardon?
One beer.
1 beer? Oh, right, today. Yeah. Okay, now here's my question to you, and this one's where we have a little bit of fun. What was the unique way Babe Ruth stayed cool during those hot days in the middle of the summer? Dick?
Cabbage leaves.
Cabbage leaves. Every 2 innings, he put a fresh cabbage leaf on his head, underneath his hat, to keep him cool during the day. So how do you think that would go today? I don't think that'd go too well, but yeah, the cabbage leaf is the story. Great job, Dick. And now for Rotarians rolling on the floor laughing, Doug Saltzgaber.
All right. Thank you, President Kevin. Isn't he doing at least above mediocre job this year? Really, isn't he doing a good job? He is. All right. So here we may learn something about the horse racing industry this afternoon. And I've got a list here of some horses that may or may not be racing locally. These are all actual names. May the horse be with you. Harry Trotter, Why Kick a Moo Cow, the main attraction. When we get into movies, 50 Shades of Hay, or 50 Bales of Hay. For you track and field people, you might want to bet on this horse, Usain Colt. Or probably not this one, Hay Fever. And this was probably someone's child that named this horse All Daddy's Money. Of course, we all know the joke about a horse walking into a bar, Long Face. And 3, you may not want to bet on, Past Your Bedtime, Past Your Prime. And I really don't think this horse would get many bets. You might have to think about this one a minute. Almost Elmer's.
That was just above mediocre. Okay, now I have Susan Voss to introduce our program today. Susan?
Thank you, President. I want you to raise your hand if you've ever bet on the Iowa State Cyclones or the Iowa Hawkeyes, or you filled out the NCAA bracket. Raise your, come on, I know everybody's done it. Well, why would you do that when you can go to your favorite place to play at Prairie Meadows Racetrack and Casino? We are very fortunate today to have that leader here today, Gary Palmer. Gary really has a great story to tell. I'm let him tell it, but it's quite unusual to have somebody leading an organization that was a founder, a board member, and now the CEO. They are doing wonderful things at Prairie Meadows, and I've been very fortunate to be on that board for the past 6 years and really see a transformation of the facility, but also the marvelous things it gives back to the community. We really are very unique here with Prairie Meadows. So without much more discussion, please welcome Gary Palmer.
Thank you, Susan. Good afternoon, everyone. On the way driving that short trip from Altoona to Des Moines, we noticed how beautiful it was today. And we're so honored to be here. And I told Michelle and Julie that maybe we should take the long way back to Prairie Meadows today because it's so nice. So maybe you gave us a good excuse, even though one of our board members are listening to what I'm saying. So maybe I better. But thank you so much for inviting us today. I have a subject that I could talk on to for about 4 hours. I'm sure you don't want to listen to that. But I think I'll start a little bit by giving a little background on myself, because most of the time I meet people around the nation when I go to speak about Prairie Meadows is the fact, what part of Las Vegas did you grow up in, or Mississippi, or wherever? I grew up in Altoona, Iowa, and been here all my life, except for, I spent 5 years in the military. The rest of the time I'm here in Altoona and the Bondurant area. I graduated from Bondurant High School. Just happened to be lucky enough to be part of a program that the county and some of us local guys put together in the mid-'80s when we had the farm crisis. And we were lucky enough to have a gentleman named Kenny Granquist, that a lot of you in here probably knew, that owned the Iowa Cubs, that came up with, and I still don't know how this happened, I knew Kenny for years. He came up during that bad farm crisis in the middle '80s with industrial revenue bonds that were tax-free, state and federal, to build a horse track. I've never heard anything like that since or before. But we came down to, and at that time I was the president of the Chamber of Commerce, also had a couple small businesses in Altoona. And a gentleman named Ed Skinner, which was Julie's dad, a local attorney and land developer, a man named Jack Bishop, that was the chairman of the Polk County Board of Supervisors, and a guy named Jim Rasmussen, which was a local business owner, owned a lot of businesses around the country, and myself kind of got together and we thought we need something in Altoona or in that area. They went to Bondurant first, it didn't quite work out, so Altoona will take it. Be honest with you, at that time we would have taken a hog confinement or anything else. We needed business in Altoona. The farm economy was shot, so we worked on that, got that done, and with the help of Polk County, we become one of the, I think, one of the most famous and successful private-public partnerships in America today. We got together, worked a long time, we got a horse track in Altoona. The horse track didn't work. First couple years we went bankrupt. So one Sunday afternoon we're sitting out at the track, wondering what are we going to do with this beautiful building. We talked about the community, they backed it, and we were with, at the time, the chairman of the Iowa Racing and Gaming Commission. His name is Bud Pike. He was a banker in Iowa, as head of the commission, and we came up with the idea, and right then they were starting to put riverboats in the state of Iowa. What about if we put a gaming facility in with horse racing, with that same horse racing? We don't know what hadn't happened before. So we got together, got a group of people, and I'm talking about the people, we might have been 4 of us that were the kind of the start, but we had thousands of people helping us to get where we are today. I'm talking about people like Bill Knapp Sr., Jim County, so many local businessmen that cared about economic development, wanted to make sure maybe this worked in the state of Iowa. So there's a lot of details in between, but we went to the legislature in 1993 to see if we could get casino-style gaming at Prairie Meadows. Last day of the session, 11th hour, we lost by 1 vote. So we said, well, something's going on. We have to do something here. So we went back to legislation next year. Jim County, and I just reminded him the other day, he forgot about it. I said, I remember when you went statewide and met with every representative you could to see if we could get support for this. And Bill Knapp and a lot of people got together and said, this is an important economic development for Central Iowa. So we went back to the legislature in 1994, very last day of the session, the 11th hour of the session, we won by 1 vote. So we never had a lot of bragging rights about how well we did down there, but we did know the county put us on notice, if it doesn't pass, we're gonna come out tomorrow and board the place up. We can't put any more money into Prairie Meadows. This can't happen. So we passed that, so the next day, we started working on what we're going to do. We had to get more money from the county. They reinvested a total of, I think it was about 95 million, and we opened the first racino in the world in Altoona, Iowa. That's a racino, a racetrack with a casino. Now there's probably 60 in America. We started it here in Altoona, Central Iowa. The day we opened, April 1st, 1995, as the first casino in the world, we owed the county $95 million. Well, on December 30th, I think it was, 1996, we paid all that debt off plus interest to the county. So, thank you. So, we've been privileged enough since 1996 to be debt-free. We have over 1,000 employees. We have 3 unions at Prairie Meadows. We have ASPE, we have the operating engineers, and we have the machinist. They're great partners of ours. We have great working relationships with them. Never had a union infraction in all these years. Again, the county and us have worked hand in hand for many years as partners to become so successful. We've given out in our grant program, which Julie's in charge of, we've given out over $2.2 billion, that's with a B, back to this community since that time in taxes and charitable contributions to our community. And we're tickled to death to be able to do that. We don't know of any place in the nation that has a company that's involved with their public government that's able to do anything like this. This past year, to give you an idea, this past year we gave back to this community, we are on a contractual relationship with the county and the city of Des Moines, as well as the public schools in Des Moines. We gave back to this community $50 million in profit last year alone. I don't know anybody that does those things. And when we made that decision back in the early 90s that we would be a non-for-profit instead of being a for-profit, we had big companies like MGM, Caesars, all wanting to buy us, and they would give the community the crumbs, they'd take the cookie. We decided at that time that's not a good thing. We're gonna try it on our own. If it doesn't work, we'll give them a call. We told them leave the number in case it didn't work. But it just happened to work, this community coming together, that this has worked so very well for us. And again, these 2 ladies, both of them, Julie's been with us 35 years. Michelle's been, what, 31 years? I've been there 150. Just ask some employees, they'll verify that. But we have so many people there that's been there 20, 30 years that stayed with us. And we've got a great working relationship. We have a wonderful team. And I think that equates so much back to the success that we have in the gaming industry. Prairie Meadows is the #1 casino in the state of Iowa, probably in the Midwest in revenues, in profits. We've got a great market, but the essence of all that is all that money gets to come back into the community again. All our net profits are given back to help this community lessen the burden of government and to help our neighbors and friends and families. So we're very proud of that. Just go through a couple details here. We have a board of directors, 15-member board of directors, volunteers. Susan's one. We have them from the Taxpayers Association of Central Iowa. They have a different name now. What is it? Is it still the same? Okay. We have 1 member on that. We have a member that represents horsemen. We have 4 representatives that the Polk County Board of Supervisors put on. We have 3 Greater Des Moines Partnership representatives, 1 voting, 2 non-voting, 5 at-large members, and 1 union representative on the board. And again, they're volunteers, and they've done an excellent job through the years. We have term limits, which we're trying to make that work throughout the country. That's not worked very well, but we do have term limits at Prairie Meadows. And we've had excellent board members through the years. We have doctors, we have lawyers, we have businessmen, we have people from nonprofits. We've got a great sampling of this community, and it's worked out very well for us for so many years. Our yearly payroll is right at $60 million. Our yearly state gaming taxes is over $60 million. We'll kind of give you just a little quick breakdown of what we give to the county. The county, we rent the facilities. We run Prairie Meadows. The county taxpayers own the facility. This past year in revenue sharing, we gave the county $14 million. We gave back in our community betterment grants, which Julie has. We have community betterment grants and we have legacy grants. But anyone that's non-for-profit that eligible, please get a hold of Julie, because we give a lot of money back to this community. We've got a great grants program. This past year we gave $15 million back to that program alone, not counting the money we gave back to the city of Des Moines and to Polk County. We also have to pay a gaming tax to the city of Altoona County of 0.5% of gaming tax each Monday morning, which equates to about $1 million for each entity each year from gaming taxes. We also give the private and public schools $1 million last year. Our total revenue last year was right at $280 million. And our adjusted gross revenues, gaming revenues, was $244 million. A wonderful hotel if you haven't had a chance to be out, and event center. We have a 168-room hotel. We just finished remodeling it last year. We spent $14 million remodeling our hotel for 168 rooms. We have a gigantic and beautiful event center. If you haven't been there with your events, please do so. Or come out and take a look at it, because you will end up being there. We've got great food, great service, and a great environment at Prairie Meadows. We have racing. Anybody heard? We have horse racing also at Prairie Meadows. And we've had that for 35 years. This is our 35th year anniversary we had this year of operating. A lot of people have questions on horse racing. We've had horse racing for a long time. Never made any money on it. It's a state law. We will do horse racing or we won't have a gaming license. But there's a tremendous amount of economic impact to agriculture each year we have horse racing. We might not make money at Prairie Meadows, but the community and the state makes a lot of money in agriculture by having horse racing each year at Prairie Meadows. We're the largest tourist attraction in the state of Iowa and have been for the last 25 years. Our hotel occupancy right now is about 70%, which is probably the highest in Polk County. We do very well out there as well. We've just got so many great things. I could keep talking and talking. I don't know where we're at. Did anybody have any questions that maybe will evolve into some time? Apparently somebody's got, Mark?
What's the horizon, say that where's Prairie Meadows gonna go? What's the latest or newest thing that you might even consider adding to the portfolio you already have going?
Okay, that's a good question. We constantly remodel, paint, new carpet. Our customers want to see new things, and we want to do that. Our property, I'll brag on it, because the property, as you walk into it, is as clean as the backside where our employees are stationed all the time. Very important to have great customer service, have a great environment, have great security. We're the only casino that I know of, probably, I don't know, maybe anywhere in the country, that has our own rapid response team, security, that's trained by the county, and they're armed and very friendly. We welcome our people, but we want people to know when they come out, they're safe at Prairie Meadows. We don't put up with any foolishness out there. Things just keep getting better and better. I'm not sure what we're gonna do next as far as building. We've talked about maybe extending or expanding our hotel. We don't think it's time for that quite yet. We're constantly adding new games to our casino floor. If 25% of Americans gamble, I always like to get this story right, because the fact of the matter is, as capitalists, we all gamble. If it's the stock market, if it's farming, if it's your savings account, if you own a business, where I'm talking about a lot of people, we're all gambling every day in a capitalistic society. Christopher Columbus did a big gamble the day him and 3 ships headed this way. Wonder what we're gonna find at the other end. So, when people ask about gaming in the community, this is going a little bit off what you asked, Mark, but when people ask about gaming, I've told them for many, many years, it's legal in Iowa. It's what capitalists do. Some choose to do it, some not. And again, our statistics show that 25% of all individuals over 21 do gamble. And we've got a beautiful place for them if they like that. But we're not all gambling in Prairie Meadows. We've got a great convention center. We've got great dining. We've got AJ's Steakhouse, which I'll compare to anybody in town. If you haven't been there, you're missing out. You should go there. And again, to have events for your companies or reunions or whatever, Prairie Meadows is a great place to go. I think you'd really enjoy it if you did that. Constantly thinking about new ways to do, but this is kind of funny. I'm not running for office. I'm not going to ask for your vote. And I'm what you call a conservative Democrat, and if you want to figure that one out, it kind of means I'm an independent, to be truthful with you. We like everybody at Prairie Meadows. We're not prejudiced, we're not political that way anyway, but we want a great place for our community to come out and enjoy and really gather and be able to receive the fruits of our success out there. We've been very successful because of our community and our employees that do such a great job when people come out. But building, we're always thinking, we're always doing the due process. We've had a million ideas for themed restaurants and stuff after we do the due process. and you go through your due diligence, you come up, that probably won't work. So we go to the next step. We have to do that constantly. We have, in that entertainment business, if you're not changing, you're not gonna be around. That's just the way it is. We're constantly looking at new things and new ways for people to come out and join our business and entertainment. Yes, sir.
I don't know, how do you deal with those that perhaps have a chronic gambling problem? Is there any, notices within the casino or
Yes.
any other things that you do? Or?
Can you repeat the question, Gary?
I'd be glad to repeat the question. Is what do we do with problem gamblers? In other words, the state has a program called 1-800-BETS-OFF. It's a great program. We train all our people on that. Problem gamblers are the worst customers we have. We don't want any problem gamblers. We have problems with them. We have problems with their families. And we have different signs that we watch. If someone's there too long, if someone's acting up, a lot of times if people have spent too much money, you can tell right quick like. We have two systems in the state of Iowa that's legal, and it's the trespass system. We can trespass them from our property. It can be a temporary trespass or it can be a permanent trespass. But we take care of problem gamblers the best we can. Matter of fact, we have representatives. We're the only casino in Iowa that I know that does this. I think it's once a month. 1-800 comes out and sets a table at the very front of our opening of our building with information and stuff for people that may have problem gaming. And we train our people on it. If you see different signs, we need to have these people checked because, again, problem gambling is not what we want in our facility. We want people to have fun, enjoy their experience when they come in. Did that answer your
Yes,
question?
it did. Thank you.
Okay, you bet. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. I had a question on sports betting.
Yes.
Curious on Prairie Meadows' involvement in sports betting and then also its impact on gambling in the state.
Great question. We were the ones that really initiated with all the other casinos to get into the sports gaming business. We have an Iowa Gaming Association in Iowa that we all get together once a month and we talk about our successes, our failures, or what we need to improve on. But we got together on sports betting, and in 2000, I think it was 19, it was finally enacted. It didn't turn out like we thought it would, to be honest with you. One of the fallacies in it was when we passed the legislation, one of the national gaming associations that's in Iowa wanted to put a caveat that after 18 months, we could start gaming on our phone, mobile. Even though we geo-fence in Iowa, you have to be in Iowa to bet. It didn't work out very good for the properties because now people don't come out to bet because they can do it on the phone. We teamed up with, at that time, one of the best sports betting outfits there was, William Hill. They were great people to work with. We went out to Las Vegas, met with them, first class, worldwide, one of the biggest. They got, right after all this happened, they got sold out. They bought it out by Caesars. Things changed, and now, to be quite honest with you, we'll make $1 million profit on sports betting this year. You hear all those big numbers, but at the end of the day, we'll make $1 million, which is still significant to maybe do it. I mean, I think it's getting close that we should even do it, to be honest with you. So $1 million, $1 million, profit after all our expenses, but it's not like it was. And the deal we have with Caesars, if you have a account with us, or account with Caesars, in order for us to get credit, when you make your bet, you have to put our promotional number into that. Nobody does that. It's too much trouble. And as sports betting came to Iowa, there was everybody. You had DraftKings, FanDuel, Gary's Betting, I mean, whatever you want to throw in there, we had all kinds of them. And they all had different deals, so everybody at sports bet, a lot of, like my son-in-laws, they had an account for this one and that one and that one. I said, well, what about Prairie Meadows? Well, they're not giving a deal this week, so we're going with this other. So to answer your question, it didn't turn out like we thought it would, to be honest with you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, since horse racing has been losing money, how do you determine payouts for horse races?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's under state law that we, off our adjusted gross revenues, we give them 11% every year for their purses. This year was $25 million that we gave them for purses for the horses. And that's just state law, you have to do that. And then everything else through pari-mutuel betting meets its own Again, I think the essence of horse racing today is the fact that it helps Iowa agriculture, which for a lot of us, I think is important, even though it's kind of hard to tell a layman that we lost 30 million last year on horse racing. Oh, really? We got people starving and you lost 30 million? But you've got to factor in economic impact statewide, veterinary medicine, goods and services, help to the farmers. That's big. That economic impact's big. We'll never make money on horse racing. It's just not going to happen. But we're making changes to horse racing because things change and we have to change along with it. Yes, sir.
Is the State Racing and Gaming Commission done granting new licenses? And in the past, there was some discussion about, in the western suburbs, potential new licenses. Is that all dead?
No, they had a 2-year moratorium on licenses that expired. And right now, the big debate is if Lynn County's gonna get a license for Cedar Rapids. The IGA, the Iowa Gaming Association, all of the 19 commercial casinos in Iowa have gotten together and we voted that we don't want new license anywhere. We don't care if it's Lynn County, we don't care if it's Polk County. We think enough's enough in the state of Iowa with 19 licensed and 14 Native American casinos in a population of 3 million people. That's plenty. We're getting a lot of competition now from Nebraska, now that the light came on over there. Well, that's pretty good entertainment, maybe we should do it now. So they're coming full steam in Nebraska. Illinois is expanding, Wisconsin's expanding. We think generally there's enough gaming in Iowa, we don't need any more, if that answers your question. But it's a live bullet for Lynn County. We don't know what's gonna happen there. Yes, sir.
Yeah, percentage-wise of your total revenue, what is derived from gaming and what is then derived from hotel, entertainment, things like that?
91% of our income is gaming. And then everything else is kind of incremental from there on, the hotel, events, the food and beverage. In the casino business, your casino floor is at least 90% of your income every year. Yes, sir.
Could you explain the process for allocating charitable dollars throughout the county and to which organizations?
Yes. To the best of my ability. Again, we have a grant committee, which is mostly our board of directors. Julie Stewart and her department runs that. And again, you have 2 types of grants and what we call legacies you can apply for. The community betterment are grants up to $100,000. Anything over 100,000 to $1 million most of the time is through our legacy grants. And we have on our legacy grants, we have the people that's applying for those come in front of our board of directors and do their sales. And then they decide who gets the legacy grants and how they're divided. On the grant side, is this year on our grants, we had, I think, 345 community betterment grants. And our board and the people that we have on staff that's on that committee have to read every one of those grants and then they grade them individually. We put them together, we average them, and then that's really how the grants are given out, by popularity of the members of the board. We give out, this year it was 15 million a year just in that program, and that's the most we've ever given out at one time. Last year we gave out 13 million out of that program, and 5 million of that was to Des Moines International Airport to help them get that airport started out here and then the improvements that we need here in Des Moines. But it's a pretty simple application that you do online to Prairie Meadows. And we have requirements, naturally so on that you have to have so much already obligated to your project. We don't fund many projects 100%. Matter of fact, we don't fund any to it. You have to have your money started before we'll give you grant money. It's been very, very successful in this community. And again, through the years, 2.2 billion we've given this year. I may have that here. What was it? This year, community betterments, we had 436 applications, and we had 50 for legacy, and that's the one for 100,000 or more. We gave 26 of those grants out, and we gave out 336 of the community betterment grants. So we're very proud of that system, and it's worked very well since 1996, and we continue to we want to be fair with everyone, and we get a lot of people involved in it. That's not saying, hey Gary, will you give us $1,000? No, we don't. I don't get involved in that stuff. I stay as far away from all that stuff as I possibly can, and for good reason. It needs to go through a system. Did I answer your question, sir?
Just a follow-up. At places like Riverside, where you build the amphitheater and the stage or contribute significant dollars, is that through this process, or is there a separate thing through the Board of Supervisors or Polk County where funds go other places?
Polk County has their grant distribution that we give money to, and then we have our own that Prairie Meadows takes care of. In Iowa, under Iowa state law, if you own a casino license, you have to give 3% of your adjusted gross revenues to charitable contributions. Because we're a not-for-profit, we give 20%. So we give so much more than everybody else. At one time, we gave all 99 counties in the state of Iowa grants. And then as the proliferation of gaming and casinos were popping up at different places, then it was their time to take care of their areas, and then we'll take care of Central Iowa, which most of our money comes from Central Iowa.
Would you define adjusted gross revenues?
That's what if you look at our 990, it shows that last year we made, I just went over it yesterday at the Finance Committee, $2.28 billion. No, we didn't. After you give the back to the players, we ended up with $280 million is what we made on the casino side. So adjusted gross revenue is the 280. Yes, sir.
Can you touch on the profitability of various games in the house? I mean, either yours or industry-wide, maybe going on slot.
I can.
I mean, how does that break out?
I can. Naturally, the slots are the most profitable for us. And they're 80% of our income. You get table games about 20%. But there's a real advantage of being regulated by the state as much as we are. We're probably the highest regulated industry in the world. We have 4 Iowa racing gaming agents based with us every day, and we have 4 DCI agents on our property that's officed at our place. All casinos have those. Very well regulated. You have to distribute the way you should. We know what every casino in Iowa makes revenues, because it comes out on a sheet from the commission. We'd love to see that, to see what our competitors are doing. The only thing you don't see is how much it costs them to get that much money. We'd like to see the other half, but they won't let us see the other half. But we're able to see the top half and know where we're at. And yes, we probably have the best location in Iowa. We have close to 3 million visitors a year. I mean, we had a lot of people come out and enjoy that type of entertainment out there. But it's definitely the slot machines and table games, and then poker. We really have, and oh yeah, we put sports betting, but we're trying to raise it. That's at the bottom of the deal. But the slots make the most sense, the tables, and then it's poker, and then it's sports betting. We make more on the poker than we do on sports betting. Yes, sir.
Gary, you've been there a long time. Would you talk a little bit about your management philosophy? How did you learn this? And since you've been in it for a long time, how have you grown? And what have you learned about managing a big operation?
I've learned a lot just by growing up on a farm in Altoona, how to manage money and how to work with people. I graduated from Grandview, and I also graduated from Drake University. So I'm proud I was educated locally, both great universities. You know, it all comes down to just treating people nice and working with them. And we don't do much micromanaging. If we hire a department head that can't take care of it, sometimes we have to get somebody else. We hire them for their expertise. We give them the direction. The board gives us the direction, we give them the direction. And just by working and letting micromanage it, but we don't do, it's bad in our opinion anyway. but let people grow and teach them. And we created what we call Prairie Meadows University, which our up-and-comers we put through each year. We've teamed up with Great University to do what we call Prairie Meadows University, to go through a management enhancement program. And it's part, they get a diploma and all that when they're done with it, but that's part of the, when they want to jump up in different degrees and different departments they're in. If you have been through Prairie Meadows University, it gives you a jump start because you've been through all that stuff. But it's just, I think it's you treat people like you like to be treated. You don't have to be a Harvard graduate or anything like that. You just have to treat people like we like to be treated. And same with our customers. The customers love, we do something that's I'd like to brag about real quick. Like, we're the only casino I know in the world. Once a month, I and our top executive staff meet with our top players and have dinner with them at AJ's in a private room. And there's usually 10 or 15 of them that come. We just have a ball. But we give them a chance to tell us what we're doing wrong and what we're doing right. And most of it's right, which is always nice. We always feel good when we leave. But you give a chance for your customers really to tell you, how are you doing? You're getting a great card, as well as we have, twice a year we hire an outside firm from out of state to come in and do a secret shopping at Prairie Meadows to let us know, how are you really doing? And they're very honest. Sometimes maybe they're too honest, but it does give us an idea of maybe where we need a little more training and stuff. But again, going back to your question, you treat people like you want to be treated, it just seems to work pretty well.
Thank you.
Jerry, appreciate your presentation today, and thank you for all the years of giving back to this community. It's phenomenal what you've done over those many years. Okay, moving on to upcoming meetings. Next week, we are not here. We're at the Boy Scouts of America Mid-Iowa Council on Scout Trail, 63rd, near 63rd and Park. And Jamie Fitzgerald, the Polk County Auditor, will be our program, so you'll learn a little bit about what's going on with the election and the ballots. And interestingly, the Iowa International Center is hosting a delegation from Kazakhstan, and they want to come and participate. So you'll get an opportunity to meet those folks on October 31st. On November 7th, we'll be back here, and we'll have Lisa Kearns, the medical director of the VA. And then on November 14th, we're out again, and this time we're doing fellowships. There'll be information on, there's 3 different fellowships group. That's when we go out to one of our places of business. And so there'll be 3 of you coming out, and you can sign up for one of those 3. As far as guests go, we welcome them next week, or November 7th, but not at the fellowship meeting. So be sure to get those guests requests in by 9 a.m. on Wednesday. Other upcoming events, we have 2 morning fuels. We have next week on the 29th, we will hear from Matt Busick and his amazing story. And then on November 12th, we will have Tanya Wenzel and talk about her fantastic career at EMC. And a reminder, and for those that are guests, we have our 3 strategic pillars: building relationships, building our membership, and building our community impact. So you've just heard today about the community impact and contributing to the Thanksgiving baskets, right? We've got our morning fuel, and you can build relationships there. And again, I encourage y'all just to reach out to somebody and grab a cup of coffee on your own. And lastly, we would encourage you to talk to somebody and bring them as a guest to get to know us, to help us grow our club. Again, thank you to Gary. Good to have our guests with us. Thank you all for making the Rotary Club of Des Moines the great club that it is. We are adjourned.